Hey guys, what's up? It's a Chinchilla Notebook here, and today's video is going to be on how to do health checks on your chinchilla. So I don't remember if this was requested or not, but I decided to do this video because it's important to know when you own a chinchilla how to do health checks on them to make sure that they're doing all right. So obviously you need to go to the vet and have checkups on the chinchilla, maybe like once a year or twice a year, twice a year. But it's also important to do regular health checks on your own because you as the owner can observe quite a few things. So yeah, I recommend doing these health checks about once a month or every 2 weeks according to what you want to do. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Alright, so when performing your health checks, you can do it in their cage if that's what you want to do. You can also take them out, but I like to leave him in his cage because he doesn't like me to pick him up and put him in a place and make him sit there. So this is the way I do it. And what you want to look for is, first of all, I start with his eyes, ears, and nose. And what you're looking for is discharge, like runny eyes, runny nose, runny ears, or crusty or anything that's abnormal. He's probably going to move a lot, but as you can see, his nose is all normal. It's dry. His eyes are clean. There's nothing around the edges. They're not a different color. As for his ears, you want to look inside here. Can I focus? You want to look inside their ears, make sure they're not dirty, that they don't have any what do you call those? Like parasites or anything, or bugs or fleas or stuff like that. If you keep your chinchilla inside, that's probably not going to be very common. It's probably not going to happen. But at the same time, you want to check in there to make sure everything's going on fine. And then after you check those things, then you're going to move on to their fur. So what you want to look for is oily fur or scruffy, and you want to make sure their coat is nice and soft and it's looking all good, that they don't have any hair loss or anything like that. That's another thing that you want to watch for. Also check their whiskers, make sure they're long and that they're not missing whiskers, that there's a good amount, and also their tail. Look around the tail and make sure that everything's fine over there. And then you want to check their breathing. When you're doing this, check to see that they breathe normally. Obviously, you can't hear them, but if they have an issue with their breathing, you'll be able to hear it. And then also drooling from their mouth as well. That is something that some people don't notice, and it's very important that you do because your chinchilla might have problems if they are. And I don't know if you can get them to open their mouth for you, but if you can, I don't think I can do it right now with the camera in my hand. But try to check their teeth, see if their front teeth are yellow and not too long. If their teeth are not yellow and they're white, then I know it sounds weird, but they're sick if their teeth are white, because rodents' teeth always need to be yellow. Also make sure they're not cut. I wish I could show you them. I'll probably insert a picture of chinchilla teeth, healthy chinchilla teeth, because he's not going to let me open his mouth and I can't do it with one hand. But basically look to see if they're a good height. You don't want them to be too long or too short, or they need to be, I'll show you a picture. And the last thing you want to do is, this is going to be kind of hard. I'll see if I can set the camera down on his hut and show you. Yeah, okay. Alright, he's not having it. Anyway, but you want to make sure that everything is fine down there as well, and to make sure that they're just looking healthy. And once you've performed a check on the chinchilla and make sure nothing's wrong, because chinchillas can hide their illnesses very easily, you're going to move on to other things that you should watch for and that's the first thing is inactivity. Obviously Merlin has no problems with inactivity. Obviously chinchillas sleep in the daytime, but if you're noticing that they're never active and they're always sleepy, they're always never moving, or they stay in the spot for too many hours, that's a bad sign. And also loss of appetite or weight. Merlin's always hungry, and he's not fat and he's not too thin, so he's a good size for his age. He's about 2 years old. But also watch for that. You can tell, and you can also weigh your chinchilla. Merlin, yeah, that's my notebook. Okay. Anyway, where was I? The next thing is hunched posture, and that when your chinchilla is walking or running or jumping like this, if their posture is hunched and bent over, that's not a good sign. And the next thing is abnormal walk. How is your chinchilla walking? Are they doing okay with that? And the next thing is hair loss. Now, some people ask me, how can you notice hair loss when like when the chinchilla is such dense fur, like you can't notice it missing. Well, you will be able to notice if you have tufts of fur lying around their cage. That's the thing, you have to also use their cage as clues. If they have tufts of fur lying around the cage everywhere, that's probably not a good sign. Also check their fur, like are there any major things missing? Some, obviously his huts, for example, will have fur all over it because it's just that kind of fabric that collects the fur, but nothing abnormal, you don't want that. And as far as his tail and his whiskers, look around for those kinds of like whiskers in their tail. I don't know what you call this. I think it's hair because it doesn't feel like fur. It might be fur. Anyway, but you can also tell because this is pretty easy to see if they are chewing out their tail or something like that. It does happen. And then the next thing is diarrhea. The way you can find this is by looking at their pellets, obviously. I mean, you clean their cage every day. You should be able to notice if everything's normal, the way it should be, like hard, but when they're first, soft. But if they're diarrhea, you can tell. It's very bad, and you want to make sure your chinchilla never has it. If they do, it's a very bad sign. You have to take them to the vet because it's not normal at all. And then the last thing is seizures. Yeah, seizures. This is a very telltale sign that something is wrong with your chinchilla. But if you might not be there when they have a seizure, but that's why you need to watch them. If you suspect peculiar activity, then you should be watching for that as well. Also, chinchillas produce two kinds of fecal pellets. One type is rich in nitrogen, and the chinchilla will normally eat these pellets. There is nothing wrong with your chinchilla if you observe this behavior. So that is pretty much it for the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I wasn't very thorough and everything, but it's basically what it is, doing health checks on your chinchilla. It's mostly just watching their behavior every day and making sure that everything looks good. So without further ado, I'm going to let you guys go. If you didn't see my last video, I asked you guys to leave me any personal questions you might have about me. So just go ahead and leave those down below in the comments for my upcoming personal Q&A video. And without further ado, I'm going to let you guys go, and Merlin says bye.